Hello and welcome back to the Sales Show. I'm your host, Maree Kirkpatrick. And today's episode, I want to talk about something that I see happening a lot with women in business, and it's this inconsistency with sales. And so I want to talk about what's actually going on. I hear from women all the time in business that I just need more leads, or I need more inquiries, or currently struggling with cash flow. And their answer is that they think that they need more visibility and they need more people to find me, and I need more eyes on my content. I need my ads to convert better. And on the surface, all of this makes complete sense. However, when your sales feel inconsistent, when 1 month is great and the next is really quiet, it feels like the problem is that there's not enough people that are actually seeing you. But in reality, that's probably not the case, because if you converted everyone that saw your stuff, then my question to you would be, do you really need more eyes on your stuff? And so here's what I want to talk about today, because what if it's not actually the problem? And what if the inconsistent sales is not actually coming from not enough content, not enough visibility, all that sort of stuff? I have been looking through a few of the onboarding forms recently from our beautiful women in her sales club. And I always love looking at this data and the way that people talk about their problem. And what I find really interesting is these are not beginners. These are not women who have never sold anything, are new to business. These are women that are actually showing up. They have amazing offers. They are brilliant at what they do. They're posting content. Some of them have a whole team behind them that are working on their marketing space, and they're having these conversations. So then doing the work, it's not that they're not doing things or that they're being lazy or that, they're not doing X, Y, and Z. But so they're doing the work, but the same pattern keeps coming up. And they will literally say things to me like, I feel like I'm doing all the things, but my sales just aren't consistent. And this is where I want to get a little bit ranty today. Like, we are about to step into, or we are currently just stepped into, I should say, Q2 of 2026. And I really want you to hear this, because the issue is not effort, and it's absolutely not visibility. It's about what happens when people show interest in what it is that you do. And when I say show interest, it means people that comment on your post, people that even see your post and don't say anything. So let me explain this so that it's really clear to understand. If someone finds you today, they see a post, they show up on your For You page, someone follows you, they watch your content, they inquire from you, or you're on a networking call and they say something like, oh, do you do X, Y, and Z? That is a buying sign. But the question is, what happens next? So once someone has actually shown that interest, do you have a clear process? Do you have a way to guide that conversation to uncover what's going on for them and find out how you can actually help them? And do you have a structure that moves them towards understanding whether you are right for them, whether the product or service is the best option for them, moving them towards that decision? Or are you in that space of just kind of figuring it out? And I say this with so much love because I want you to win. If you are listening to this podcast, if you are in my community, in my circle, I want you to win. But the reality is that most people are literally winging it. And it's not because they're lazy. It's not because they're not good at what they do. It's not because they don't have the right planning or planner or Notion software or the right AI. It's because they haven't actually learned how to sell, and no one's taught them how to sell for them. Right? There's a difference between connected selling and bro marketing. And this is the part that I find changes a lot of things, because even if I gave you a whole heap more leads, that's not going to fix it. Even if I gave you a month's worth of content, that's not going to fix it either. All that will happen is more leads, more exposure, more content will just show that you don't have this process sorted. If you have 10 people coming in now and only 2 are buying, what happens when 50 people come in? Or if I send you 100 people? We don't just magically convert more because we've got more leads coming in. Or you may get more people sitting in there maybe, or I'll just think about it, or, maybe when I've got more cash, or now's not the right time, or we're in the middle of school holidays, or you get these kind of objections showing up. So instead of asking, how do you get more leads and inquiries or build your database? I think a better question to ask yourself, and sit in this space for a minute, like sit with your business and ask yourself the question, how do I convert the leads that I already have? How do I get on the floor with more of my ideal clients and really understand them? Understand what they want, understand what they need, understand what their biggest challenges are at the moment. Because when you look at that gap, there will be key indicators that go, right, this is what I'm not nailing. And so maybe the first thing you need to look at is your messaging. So I was on a mastermind call today and I was talking to one of the beautiful women, and she was talking about, I'm putting together this package for people XYZ. I thought I'd do it this way. And so she's explaining what she's doing and what she's going to be selling. But what she's not clearly showing is, what is the outcome? Like, what is it that people are getting from this, and why does it matter? What changes for that person if they decide to work with you? So if the client is interested, but they're not fully sold, it's probably because we're not articulating that value in what it is that we are doing. And the next thing that I want you to have a look at is, what is that sales conversation looking like? The actual sales conversation itself. And this is a big one, right? It's not about knowing the exact words to say or the jargon or the script. But what I'm noticing is it's people not knowing what to ask or how to guide that conversation and lead someone to a decision. Whether that's a decision to work with them or not, it's a decision either way. And so it ends up in this feeling awkward, or kind of waiting for like this gray area for someone to make a decision. And so it's all over the place. And then they'll get people saying, oh, I'll think about it. Oh, yeah, that sounds pretty good. Let me go and chat to someone, or let me just check. And so what that shows is that there's no real clear process. So the third thing that I want you to really look at is, do you have a clear process? And not just a process of like someone inquires and we have a conversation, then a decision, and then they on board. That's literally just the bits and pieces. I want it to be deeper than that. I want it to be clearer than that, because when you don't have that process, you can't have consistency. You can't adapt things based on the data and the metrics that are showing up. If I give you 100 leads, where are people falling off? Is it around that conversation? Is it once you've sent the email through with a little bit more of the information? Is it when you start talking about the pricing? So if your sales are feeling up and down at the moment, I want you to really, really hear this, because it doesn't mean that your business isn't working. It doesn't mean that you're bad at sales. It doesn't mean that you need to start over and redesign everything. It doesn't mean any of that. I want you to think about the products and services and the offers that you're putting together. Are they made for your ideal client, or are you building them and then trying to find people to sell it to? But the other question is, do you have that system? And once you have that system, is it being implemented? Is it being tracked? Are we looking at the data and the metrics? How many inquiries do you really need? And once you've got that system, everything else changes. Everything else works around it, because it goes from this, I hope people buy, to I know how many leads I need. I know what I need to do to get people in the door. I know what my marketing needs to do to guide people, to support them, to get them to move forward. Because if you're wasting all this time and energy on marketing and putting together your products and services, but you're not on the ground with your ideal client, of course your sales are going to be inconsistent. Sales needs to feel natural. It needs to feel connected. It needs to be relationship based. And it's the difference between someone feeling like you are their people and like they're just being sold to. And when you've got that really clear sales process and the strategy around it and your marketing clicks into all of that, sales stops feeling heavy. It stops feeling like we're pushing people. It stops feeling awkward, like we're reaching out to people that we haven't spoken to in ages going, hey, I've got this great thing for you. And you're like, oh God, that's exhausting. It's draining because you're doing all this effort, but nothing's coming back from it. But once that process is really clear and your offers are aligned and you know your marketing all fits in together nicely, sales starts to feel simple, it feels clear, and it feels really freaking repeatable. You can turn your marketing on, you can turn your marketing off, depending on what's going on, depending on whether you want more clients, you need to slow things down, depending on what that looks like. So if you take anything else away from this episode, I want you to really question, do you really need more leads? Or do you need to know what to do with the ones that you already have? Like those people in your database, those people that potentially you've paid money to get into your business already. And if this is something that you're sitting there thinking, oh, I just don't know, maybe Maree's right. Funny that. I've been doing this for a very long time. So if you feel like this is something that isn't working for you, I am running a sales momentum workshop in Melbourne this month. So we will build out your messaging, your sales process. We will look at your offers and make sure they are aligned to your ideal client so that when your ideal client sees it, they're like, shut up and take my money. There's no second guessing things anymore. There's no throwing spaghetti at the wall. There's no throwing money at Zuckerberg. But for now, I just want you to sit with what actually happens if I turn on a marketing tab and people show interest in my business. Can I actually convert them? Is there momentum in my sales? And if there's not, first of all, check out the Momentum Workshop in Melbourne this month. But I also want you to realize that the answer to that will give you everything else you need to know, because it won't be about your marketing. It won't be about your offers. It'll be about how do I connect more in with my ideal clients and create a process and a system around it so that it works. That is all from this episode today. If you've got any questions, let me know. If you want to check out that workshop, all you need to do is go to mareekirkpatrick.com/momentum and all the details will be there. Have a great week.